Hello everyone, we have SABINA ZAFAR right here with us, and she is running for the council member of San Ramon. She's been in US from last 22 years and she is currently a senior director at General Electric GE in San Ramon. Welcome to Yo India TV with me, Jasleen Khanuja. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you here and support you for your candidature for the council member. Give us a little background to our viewers.
Well, one, thank you so much. It is equally an honor for me to be invited to your channel to talk about my platform and talk about my city council run. So I will tell you a little bit about myself. I moved to San Ramon about 12 years ago when the population of San Ramon was 40,000. Today the population of San Ramon is 80,000. The population of San Ramon when I moved to San Ramon was 70% Caucasian. Today the population of San Ramon is 70% non-Caucasian. And we do not have representation on the city council today of anybody other than the Caucasian. And the city council has not changed in the last 12 years. And the ideas that have on the city council have not changed. The diversity on the city council has not changed. So let me tell you a little bit why I am running for city council and why am I so passionate about San Ramon and what really I want, what is my vision for San Ramon. When I moved to San Ramon, my kids were younger. They're much older now. One is in college, one is in high school. I was a parent raising my kids, working in Silicon Valley, running the day-to-day lives and life and the grind. I was very involved in PTA. I was very involved with the local community doing things like multicultural events at our schools and making sure, as part of the PTA, ensuring that our schools had the support. But as my kids grew older, as I grew in my career, I also became more involved and engaged with San Ramon as a city at large.
So SABINA, what are the most pressing issues in San Ramon that you would like to tap when you become elected as a council member?
So one of the biggest issues I see in San Ramon is that San Ramon has become these two different communities, the new San Ramon and the old San Ramon. And one of the most important things for building the community is to be a bridge that is going to bring together the two San Ramons. Right now, when you look at our high school, there are 135 different languages spoken in our high schools. We are a very diverse community and we really need to find a way to celebrate this diversity, to celebrate this community. So one of my key goals is to increase community engagement and to bring people into this fold of what happens in our city council, because everything that happens on your city council and every decision that gets made is going to affect your life every single day. And if we don't get involved and we don't get engaged and we don't bring that input into the city council, and as a city council member, it is going to be upon me to bring that engagement and bring that input back to the city council.
That's wonderful. And you have also been associated with the Women Empowerment Forum, especially at the GE. So give us some insights into it and what you would be bringing forth for women when you will be a councilwoman.
So I am very, very passionate about empowering women, mostly because of my own journey that I took on as a woman. As a woman of South Asian background, I went through some tough times, but I went and got my degree in computer science, which then allowed me to build a life for myself and for my family. And for me, it's very passionate and very important that we empower women specifically in STEM. That's what I've done always, and that's what I'm passionate about. And at GE, I run a Women in IoT meetup. I am a mentor at an accelerator, and in partnership with Accelerator Bria, GE runs a quarterly Women in IoT meetup. I also lead the GE Girls Camp, which basically it's a week-long camp that we host at GE, and we bring in girls from underserved communities in Oakland. We partner with Mills College to run a camp and expose these middle school girls to STEM education. I do attend a lot of forums. I get engaged in junior achievement forums that talk about how do we empower women to get involved in STEM and how do we pave the path for these younger women to get into technology.
So, in Pakistan, we hear that the veil system is quite prevalent and it's also a part of the Islamic culture pretty much. I see a lot of ladies here also wearing scarves and all. So, being someone from an Islamic faith and hailing from a country like Pakistan, which is considered to be a little conservative, how did you bring yourself to this position and what were the main obstacles you faced?
So I've heard about the veil as well. I've never taken it, so I don't know what it would look like. But a little bit about my journey. I did have an arranged marriage. So when I moved to the U.S., I always learned the power of negotiation. So when I was growing up, my grandmother would want me to take stitching classes and cooking classes, and I said, only if you let me take a Fortran class and then I'll take the stitching class. So that power of negotiation was always there. When I had an arranged marriage, I moved to Alabama. Again, at that arranged marriage, my negotiation was, I have to go to college if I'm going to get married. And so I saw that as an opportunity to be able to grow myself. And as I studied, I went to the University of South Alabama, did my bachelor's over there, had my kids, raised my kids. Then I moved to Scottsdale, Arizona with my husband, and then life happened. And I grew in a very, very protected home. I grew in a very protected marriage. And then life happened, and I went through divorce. And that was the point when I said, I can go back, be taken care of, or I can stay here and take care of my family and build a life for myself. So that, when I made the decision to move from Scottsdale, get in that car and drive all the way to San Ramon, California, because my best friend lived there, was an empowering experience. And I wasn't working before that. I was, after school, I was taking care of the family. And I realized that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to work and I'm going to start from scratch. And I applied for my first job and I got paid and I'm like, okay, I'm worth, I can do something with it. And the most important thing that I will to anybody who wants to build a life is hard work always pays off. You have to work hard, you have to show what you're capable of, and you have to power through. Things are going to come, life is going to change, things are going to change in your life. But if you continue to power through, you continue to be passionate about what you want to do, nothing can stop you. And you will always get rewarded with the fruits of your hard work, and it'll always be acknowledged. So stay consistent, continue to work hard, and don't let anything culturally or otherwise stop you from achieving what you really want to achieve.
Perfect, and that was really very inspirational, very motivational, and I'm sure a lot of women, especially from the South Asian background, would love to hear what you said. These are the words that will take you to the journey of progression, to the journey of success, to growth. That's wonderful. So I want to ask you, since you are in the field of technology and innovation, how can you leverage the modern day technology for the benefit of one and all, for the altruism, for the welfare?
So technology right now, we're at a very amazing place in technology. There are things happening in technology. There's startups, there's companies being built which really are embracing the social aspect of how technology can give back. And having and building those relationships with those entrepreneurships, attracting those companies to your city, to San Ramon specifically, and really building an infrastructure around technology that is going to unlock basically the power of technology to other entrepreneurs, other companies, other people that are going to come and tap into them to build a better city, to build a better life for all of us, to mitigate traffic problems, to mitigate social issues, to mitigate delivery issues, things that are very important to the core. And really, how do we build that infrastructure? It's very, very important for us.
That's wonderful. What message would you like to give out to your India TV viewers?
The one big message would be, if you live in San Ramon, please vote for me for your city council, SABINA ZAFAR, on November 6th. That is very important to me. I would also highly encourage you to come in and get involved in your local politics, whether it's whether somebody's running for mayor, whether somebody's running for city council, whether it's school board. Your input is very, very important. Whoever runs for their council, for a local office, they're representing you, and they need to be accountable to you as citizens. So hold them accountable. Go vote, and then hold your representatives accountable for why you put them in office. The power of vote is very powerful. Exercise it, use it wisely, make sure you know who you're voting for, and then hold your local or any representatives, whether they're local, whether they're state, whether they're Senate, whether they're Congress, accountable for what they're in office to do. Never underestimate that.
That was totally awesome. Thank you so much for your time in speaking with us, and we wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much. Hi, I'm SABINA ZAFAR. I'm a senior director at GE Digital, and I'm running for San Ramon City Council in 2018. I will be on the ballot on November 6th. Watch me on Yo India TV.
So we were both elected to the California Democratic Party to represent Democrats here in Assembly District 16 to the state party. So as delegates, we go to conventions, we go to meetings, we speak for Democrats right here in 8016 to the state party about what matters to us. And I have also been very involved in activism around immigration. And SABINA has always been extremely supportive in that. And if you haven't seen her impassioned speech at the San Ramon Valley Unified School District, it truly spoke to what matters to her and how important diversity is within our community. I would like to see SABINA on the San Ramon City Council, so that San Ramon City Council, that body, looks like the diverse community of San Ramon. And coming from the military, I know that when you have a group of diverse people come together, there is no problem you cannot solve. And it's time that we have a woman on San Ramon City Council. It's time we have a woman of color on San Ramon City Council, so she can bring that perspective to what this community needs. And with that, I know SABINA will do great things. She will speak for you, and she will make San Ramon, or continue to make San Ramon, a beautiful place to live, work, and play. I'm proud to call SABINA my friend, fellow activist, and Democrat, and best of luck, SABINA. Thank you for inviting me.
I was encouraged by the fact that SABINA expressed, one, a length of residency as long as mine, if not longer, but also a love for this community and a desire to stay here. And the solutions that we need in order for San Ramon to remain a relevant place for a life cycle of residents, those are young, those that are vibrant and emerging, and those of us who are stepping into our senior years, is going to take a very different way of thinking than we have today. We have the opportunity to support SABINA, who brings a very vast experience in technology, a very clear, crisp way to solve problems, a lot of things that we think we could benefit from if we bring a change to the way the City Council is currently structured. Like the other candidate, I'd like to see the City Council reflect the diversity of this community. I've been here 14 years. This community has changed drastically in that time. We should start changing the way our city government looks and how we manage that interaction and accept that fact. And I just want to ask you to support SABINA to the best of your ability, as I intend to. Thank you very much.
We like her because you know why? She listens to the citizens of San Ramon. She's been advocating for them, whether it be to reconsider the closing of the golf course in the south, in the town, or to tell the city council to stop wasting millions of dollars replacing all the trees in the Doherty Valley. And that would be a waste of money. She's an advocate, and that's the reason why the San Ramon Valley Democratic Club supports her. Last time she ran, We offered her $750 for a campaign, and we intend to support her this time too. You know, Sabina is independent, and she will listen to the people. She won't rubber stamp what the city council does or votes on. And when we need someone like this, and be assured, it's easier to just be one of those people that says, oh yes, I want to go with the city council. That's easier not to rock the boat. It would be easier in her campaign, but she's not like that. Sabina has integrity, and that's why she deserves your support here tonight.
We are here, living in these communities. We need to get engaged. That's one thing you can tell all your friends and your neighbors, that get out. Doesn't matter, we're too small to be divided. It's the Asian community we need to be looking at. That's what the seat that we need to have at the city levels, at the state level, and also at the federal level as well. Sabina, we're here with you, and we'll make sure you get where you need.
Excited that you're running. You are not representing Pakistani community. You're not representing Muslim community. When I see and when I look around, people from different diverse backgrounds, I think you're representing all of us. So that's what we need, and we need somebody who can represent us and need a seat on the table in the political arena. And I think if you can achieve that, we'll be very excited.
She's a high energy, very talented individual who actually has a hands-on management and leadership experience. I've known her for a number of years. She is very charismatic and carries a point of view that is very compelling.
2 years ago, I was out on the campaign, and there was this voice that reached out to me. Her name was Sabina. It was a dedicated voice, a mother, somebody who really understood, somebody who was engaged, somebody who had a passion, someone who had humility. Those are some key qualities that are missing in many elected officials today. So Sabina has that. When you look at what's San Ramon 2 years from now, 4 years from now, you are going to look back at today. Because Sabina, it's not about if, it's about when. And it's about 2018. And it's about Sabina will be the next elected city council member in San Ramon. Sabina has spent a significant amount of time over the past few years studying and understanding. So public engagement is very key. And when Sabina says she's going to listen, she's going to understand, she's going to take the time, and she's going to carry your voice, she's going to become, like me, an elected representative for you. So without anything further to do, I'd like to personally introduce to you the next and future City Council member of San Ramon, SABINA ZAFAR.
Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate all of you coming here today, taking your time out of Father's Day, out of an Eid weekend, out of other commitments, and coming here and supporting me. I really want to start off by thanking my incredible host committee that has worked so hard over the last 2 to 3 months to make sure we have a really successful event. I want to thank Share, and as I say your name, please stand up so we can really recognize you here. Devika, Asad, Joe, Sohail Bhai, Arif, Zishan and Zara, for organizing and bringing this wonderful room full of amazing people here. I would also like to really thank my youth committee, all the students that you saw sitting outside and checking you in. They have just been incredible. They have been showing up on Thursdays. They've been helping me write thank you letters. They've really been helping me do the grassroots work around the campaign. I want to thank Yo India TV and Dunya TV for coming here and supporting the campaign as well. And the amazing band, Devika, Manish, I don't see you anywhere, but I can't wait to hear you guys. That's what I'm here for. And then I would also like to wish all the fathers a very happy Father's Day. I am extremely touched that you decided to spend this evening with me. So a big round of applause for all the dads in the room. It is only befitting that today I start by talking about my father and my mentor, who inspired me to really get involved in public service. So for as long as I can remember, my father was a leader in his community. He started his own political journey as a council member, and then he was a federal minister with Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto's cabinet. And I always saw him as a leader who was never afraid to speak what was right, whether it was standing against the establishment or talking to media and saying, always holding his own. And I kind of find myself in the very same situation sometimes, where it's like, I'm never going to go with the status quo, I'm going to do what is right for the people and for the citizens of San Ramon. So it was only a matter of time for me as my kids grew older, as my career kind of grew. I found my calling to serve the community and the city that I've called home for 12 plus years now. For the last 12 years, those of you that don't know me, I'll tell you a little bit about my journey. I've served on the community as a PTA mom. I've volunteered with several organizations. I've served on the City Transportation Committee. I've organized community meetups and events to bring the community together. So I've been very involved in the San Ramon community ever since I moved here. When I moved to San Ramon, the population of San Ramon was about 40,000. And like Sohelbhai mentioned, it's incredible how that population has grown over the last 10 to 12 years to where the population of San Ramon is now 80,000. And the population of San Ramon is very different than when I moved to San Ramon. Everybody who's moved here is generally first generation immigrant or second generation immigrant, highly educated, a very highly Asian community. And when I say Asian community, Doherty Valley High School, which is a local high school here, there's 135 different languages spoken. So that tells you we've pretty much, brought all of the rest of the world to San Ramon. That's a great thing as well, because we get to try all the different cuisines as well. So really for me, the important thing is that as I saw this community grow, there became two San Ramons. There is East Side and there's West Side. West Side, for those of you who don't know, West Side is kind of the older San Ramon, and East Side is all of Doherty Valley, which we've had a huge migration from Fremont, the South Bay mostly. The people have moved here. They've mostly moved here for the schools, the education, and obviously our beautiful hills that we have in San Ramon, and we're so proud of. But over the last 12 years, even though the community has changed significantly, the representation on our city council has not changed. We have the same city council that we had 10 years ago. We have no representation in terms of a woman, in terms of ethnicity, and in terms of a different opinion, which is technology, which is business, which is entrepreneurship. So when I started looking at this, and as I got more and more involved, I pretty much saw the same 100, 150 people showing up everywhere that knew, who the insiders were. They were appointed to all the committees. They were, appointed to all the commissions. And pretty much everybody else who'd moved stayed out of it. So that got me thinking that if we don't get a seat at the table, we're going to be on somebody's menu. And I did not want that. So some of the things, again, some of you are in San Ramon and will remember these things. I know Manal didn't remember one of them, but just wanted to, by show of hands, wanted to know how many of you remember the basketball courts that were off of Central Park? Right? How many of you remember the 4th of July fireworks? And how many of you think it's a brilliant idea to spend $20 million of your tax money to pull out 3,000 trees from Doherty Valley and replace them with 2,000 because we think in the next 30 years we might have some issues with those trees? Nobody agrees, right? Well, guess what? The current city council is making these crucial decisions without appropriate public input every other Tuesday. In the name of public comment, or in the name of, saying that this is our notice to, in the name of notice to the public, where there's only 10 people that normally show up to these city council meetings, and decisions are made without us ever being engaged. The result of this short-sighted decision has been increased traffic bottlenecks, restaurants and businesses leaving town, a lack of community facilities, and quickly depleting financial reserves. The current city's policies are short-sighted and they fail to balance the needs of the families in this community. And despite all of this development, the City Council is actually considering raising the tax on the citizens of San Ramon. I am already concerned about the millions of property taxes that we pay to the city, and I demand that we get transparency around what happens to those tax dollars and how are they spent before they levy more tax on the citizens. In the past year, I've stood arm in arm with San Ramon neighbors, former Mayor Greg Carr, Abraham Wilson, and former council members Jim Blickenstaff to stop the current city council from making these irrational decisions. But guess what? It's time to get a seat at that table. And I will tell you why I deserve a seat at that table. Because I have the vision and the experience to be an effective city council member. And I commit to representing the people of San Ramon and make decisions that serve our community, our neighborhoods, and not special interests. My vision for San Ramon is to revitalize our neighborhood centers to build community and encourage small businesses and entrepreneurs to thrive. My vision for San Ramon is to stand behind innovation and smart city initiatives that will improve the quality of life for our citizens and with better management of infrastructure and governance. I've written so much. I had to say all of this. San Ramon's school safety is obviously my top priority. With the suicide at Doherty Valley this past year, with a Columbine-style shooting that was foiled in California high school, with an increase in hate messages on bathroom walls, this city needs to step up and partner with the school district to make sure that our students stay safe and our families are fully supported. Most of all, I am for community engagement and creating an effective channel for communication with the citizens, so people are informed and aware of City Council decisions that will directly impact them. I believe in building great teams, and I will tell you today the team that I built has delivered, and that in itself speaks to how great I am at bringing people together that deliver amazing outcomes. I'm a perpetual organizer and a volunteer of the community, and these skills will serve me well on City Council. I am a graduate of General Electric's Executive Leadership Program, and as a technology leader at GE, I currently manage a global team of software engineers responsible for billions of dollars in budget, designing and building software solutions for countries, municipalities, and multinational organizations. Technology solutions built upon data and analytics that save organizations millions of dollars. So my experience sets me apart from anybody who's on the current City Council member, mostly realtors or retired citizens, and anyone who's planning to run for City Council. I have a well-run campaign and a well-defined strategy for winning this race. As most of you know, and some of you don't, I ran in 2016, and I came in only third behind the incumbents with 8,000 votes. I didn't rest for a day after that election. I brushed my pants and I got up and so I started campaigning and running again because it is important for me. Early this year, we formed a campaign advisory board with a former mayor, a former city council member, community and technology leaders, activists, and youth leaders. We have been meeting every single month to define the goal and strategy for the campaign. Grassroots efforts and community meet and greets have allowed me to raise the seed funding for my campaign, connect with my neighbors, and take their concerns back to our city council meetings. Winning a local election takes a lot of time. Knocking on doors, attending fundraisers, going to meet and greet on almost daily basis for a year. And there's no way that I'll be able to touch the 40,000 registered voters in San Ramon. So how do I win to plan this election? Strategy backed by data and analytics, things that I know best. Winning an election is about marketing to the right demographics, about getting your brand out, about multiplying the effect of your campaign by outreach via community influences, and meeting your voters in settings where they're comfortable and can talk to you about issues which are important to them. And all of this is possible with a well-funded and well-run campaign. To run a successful campaign, you need volunteers that you have to feed sometimes. You need community outreach via targeted social media, yard signs, door hangers, mailers, literature, voter data, campaign statements, and campaign events that all cost money. Knowing all of this full well, I made the decision to step up and run for San Ramon City Council because I strongly believe that we need representation and a voice in the San Ramon City Council. San Ramon City Council needs a member in City Hall who doesn't always agree with them. Someone who questions and knows how to build partnerships. Someone who's thinking about what San Ramon will look like 10 years from now and not to fix the next pothole. That's very important, but vision is important as well. Who does not see San Ramon, most importantly, as a bedroom community where people come for the schools and then leave, but who see San Ramon as a town where we can all put our roots and call it home. So I'm running for the future of our children. The election is November 6th, 2018. Those of you that live in San Ramon or Dublin, we all have busy lives, so I would highly encourage you to go online and register to vote. You will get the ballots by October and you'll have a whole month to sit on your dining table, think about who you want to vote for. But every vote counts. Yours, your neighbors, your children's. So please do not forget to vote. It is one of the most powerful rights that you have as
तेरे आवाज के साए तेरे होठों के सराय दश्त तन्हाई में दूरी के हंसो खाक तले खिल रहे हैं तेरे पहलू के समन और गुलाब दश्त तन्हाई में जुदाई का सबब हम तू मुझसे खफा है तो ज़माने के लिए तू मुझसे खफा है तो ज़माने के लिए रंजिश ही सही दिल ही दुखाने के लिए रंजिश ही सही तुम्हें सोचो जरा क्यों न रोके तुम्हें जान जाती है जब उठ के जाते हो तुम जान जाती है जब उठ के जाते हो तुमको अपनी कसम जाने जा रोक लो आज की रात को आज जाने की जिद ना करो आज जाने की जिद ना करो यूं ही पहलू में बैठे रहो यूं ही पहलू में बैठे रहो आज जाने की जिद ना करो हाय मर जाएंगे हम तो रुक जाएंगे ऐसी बातें किया ना करो आज जाने की जिद ना करो आज जाने की जिद ना करो आज जाने की जिद